afternoon, everyone. Most people here, but those who don't, yes, I'm Living Landscapes Manager for Warwickshire Wildlife Trust. I do a huge amount of linking with the HBN here. So, yeah, touch a bit more on the Living Landscapes vision that Wildlife Trust has been working on, as Steve Trotter was saying, 606. We've all seen this one. We shouldn't have this ingrained into your brain. Okay. And we've heard about the various reports and so on. Really key instrumental reports to back up what we're all thinking of the landscape scale now. But just to illustrate that, for instance, the core areas from a wildlife trust perspective would be our, what we could term the nature reserves still. It's a bit of an archaic term these days, but that's still what we call them. So those are our core areas where we've got our OCs of really high quality and biodiversity areas. What else do? We do lots of skills and training within living landscapes. So gearing up people to actually have the skills and knowledge to go out, both to monitor, to understand what we're creating, what we're restoring, through from little kiddie winks through to people doing chainsawing. People really key to this. I think a lot of people tend to see all the biodiversity info that we come out with and say, oh, they're just interested in the green bits. But without the people, I think Warwickshire is a key county for this. We've got a lot of people in a relatively small county. We've got to engage those people and get them to love their area. And we've got loads of projects, loads of other groups are doing fantastic stuff. Lots of volunteer groups, and Phil and various other people are here today who are doing it out on the ground. But we just need to keep on pushing on because, as we know, we're still losing things. So, living landscapes areas in Warwickshire, Coventry and Solihull. Most of you will have seen this, some of you may not have done. Goes back to 2009 when we first did mapping from the phase 1 HBA data. And so that's the core of it. It's looking at concentrations of particular habitats, trying to sequence that into particular areas and linking it up with the national character areas as well as natural England. So it's a combination of different data sets and how to look at the landscape with the biodiversity information in there. We've got some priorities in there. The Tame Valley, the wetlands up in the northern bit, right up here. It's the Tame, Blythe, this bit, the really wriggly river that goes into the Tame. Princeholt Woodlands, this orange blob here, where we've got the greatest concentration of ancient woodlands left in the county. West Arden, as we call it, which is fairly in the snow, but round this section, so Earlswood Lakes and Cloudswood and various other key sites around there. And we're looking at that with Natural England for the upper Blythe now. And Avon Valley, which obviously is a huge great long length of Avon, and we're just looking at how we tackle that rather large area. So, talk briefly on those. Tame Valley Wetlands, so we've now got branding for that and so on. That's we've got HLF funding for that. We're about halfway through a 4-year programme now. So we've already started the legacy for that and where we go next. Princeholt Woodlands, similarly, we've got a mix of development fund at the moment, and we'll talk a bit more on that in a moment, and various charitable trusts that we've managed to secure some funds for, and landfill funds, which was from the WCAVA, the Warwickshire-wide Community Association. And then other ones in development, Living Avon, trying that as a term and see if that takes off, which includes all the Coventry Brooks work that we've been doing out since 2013, where we did walkovers of all the brooks, 26 brooks around Coventry, a massive amount, a huge amount of data from that, and we're still picking up projects from that. The Sow and the Sherborne, which predates it, we had basically one of the first living landscape areas, but more community focused along the River Sow, getting people engaged there, which was really successful and ran over 4 years. And then we've got a water bowl recovery project, which is a small bit, but it's focusing around Coventry and Nuneaton, so it's sort of cross catchments as well. So just a little bit of detail about, well, how are we using this data and actually implementing it? How's the application going? The area is this red line boundary here. We do talk to people slightly beyond that, but that's the basic area. So you've got edge of Birmingham here, Coleshill, up to Tamworth into Staffordshire. So it does actually cross a bit into Birmingham and a bit into Staffordshire, and that was deliberate to get a cross-boundary impact rather than it just being seen as Warwickshire. And obviously it could go, you could go miles each way as well, but you have to make it a manageable patch to work with. So just some facts and figures on the input and monies that we've got. We managed to secure 1.7 million of HLF funding towards it, and so we're about halfway through that. And then we've obviously had to provide lots of cash and volunteer time into that as well, which we're working our way through. So overall, it's bringing about 2.5 billion of resource into that area, which is good. Okay, so that's our vision. You always have a big vision for things, don't you? But it's very much a focus for wetlands in that area, which is very plain on the HPA data. Whole string of wetlands along the River Tame, and making that really rich in wildlife and accessible for everybody is sort of the big mantra that we're working to. And along that is re-engaging those local communities who are, particularly in North Warwickshire, there is a lot of deprivation, a lot of rural and urban issues there. So it's a good place to really work hard with people. Facts and figures of what we've been doing. We're doing river restoration, naturalising lakes of that. Getting reed bed established at Keighley Water Park in Stuart's here today, so that's all coming on nicely. We have now got snipe back in that new reed bed, which those of you know, your birds, snipe is like really thin and occasional across the county, so that's a really good step in the right direction. We've created backwaters. We've got 6 hectares of target wetland in and so on, so it's a whole range of things, and we've just created a sand Arctic nesting bank as well in the last few months, so we'll see how that's taken up next year. And lots of volunteer projects happening, so it's really going great guns there. That's the community wetland that we again just done this year about 3 or 4 weeks ago. We finished it. Soon we got flooded, of course, after that, but it's still fine. So that will be from what was a football field, so what was a meansy grassland on the HBA maps, will now turn into a wetland and reed bed. Lots of training happening there as well, and it's a core part of what HLF like to see, but it's instrumental in what we want to do as well, and actually gear up those skills. So some pictures there of what people have been doing, going on a hedgerow that was really well past its time, as it were, to be laid. Getting it laid, which always looks a bit drastic, but it will rejuvenate it and come through and be really good at the base for those sorts of things to live and shelter. And lots of taster sessions. We've trialled this process over a number of years now. We do 1 or 2 hours, just literally introductory things, and it breaks the ice of people who will not come to a formal course. And they're scared, they think they need to know something, but they will just about venture to a 1 or 2 hour thing. And John and Val have been involved in wildflower training days for us for that, thank you. As many other people, but it really does help to ease them into training or learning, and then they have come on to other activities and longer day sessions as well. So river restoration, trying to break up these banks that are really channelized along the River Tame. It's just like a cliff sometimes, and you can hardly see the river half the time. So breaking through that and making backwaters, making fish refuge, slowing some of the flow as well. So next steps, that's just a bit of a taster of what we're doing in Tame Valley. Next steps, we're already looking at where we go next, because the trouble with project funding is you've got 2, 3, 4 years and then you fall off the cliff. I'm really adamant this time that we look really carefully now at where we're going, both the vision and what partners want to do, what their projects will be. Looking at links with HS2 where that's relevant. We've proposed a number of sites that could do with management. We'll see if that comes off. Likewise, Highways England have got some funding for various impacts they're making. We've done a lot of mapping with a whole range of partners, and we're also looking at the moment at possible skills training centre, just exploring that at the moment. And that's just some facts and figures of who we've reached and how many people. 27,000 people engaged in some way. A huge amount of that's via Twitter, but that's a really, dear old social media is a good way of getting people to touch what you're doing, which they probably wouldn't have bothered to come and find a leaflet or look at you in the library and all the traditional sort of stuff. This is really reaching out to a large number of people who then are coming along, so getting that transference. And education, and part of that we're working with schools there and on other sites as well. So really getting to those youngsters that Steve was saying. We've got this massive gap of kids that just aren't involved. They don't get out in even a muddy puddle. They live in a concrete jungle, a huge number of them, and we all know some of those areas. And even what you might call the ones who should have access don't, because of either scaredness, perceptions of fear and so on. So even the ones who are relatively easy to get to places don't, because of all those issues as well. So it's a big build-up of issues that are coming. But these things do work. Kids love it. They're not getting messy. We all know that. But actually, a whole range of different programs to get them engaged and just have fun outdoors. Okay, moving on to Princep Woodlands, which is between Coventry and Leamington fundamentally. It's an ancient woodland area. We've been working there since 2004. We've had various short-term projects, 1 and 2 years of different bits of funding. We've now got about 20 landowners on board. We had to start with 2 or 3. It's taken time. We need to build up the trust because they see us as rather strange green people who come and say, "Oh, can you do something on one of your hedgerows?" But we are developing that trust. We're now getting landowners to show to others what they're doing, so that they're getting peer-to-peer discussion, which is always a good way to do it. And that's just the broad picture across the patch. So again, you can pick up some of those woodlands looking across there as to how they show through, and obviously they show on the maps as well for HDA. But the connectivity element is the hedgerow network is one of the things we've been really focusing on for Princep Woodlands. It seems to be a good way into landowners where you're not asking them to change huge fields into new plantations. We tried offering that, and we just didn't get the interest. We got 1 or 2, but not many. But hedgerows seem to be a bit less contentious, a bit more open. People are reasonably happy to start restoring them, providing you can offer them some support to do that. We've had sort of match funding for people to do it. So this is some of the stuff we've been surveying. All the ones in green are ones hedgerows we've surveyed, and we have done more since that, but I'll just show you where we're at this point. And the ones that we've restored in 2012-13 were the green ones, and the blue ones for 2013-14. So we've been working our way around, and gradually we've had to work with ones that are willing to start with. We haven't been able to say, "Oh, we want to do that particular bit." But now we're getting to the point where we can really look at the gaps in there, look at the flow maps, look at the connectivity maps, and say where would give us the best value for input at this time. It's really working well. That's the phase 1 detailed map for the Princep Woodlands area, again done by HBA. Has brought some money in because through the HBA funding that we applied for, we costed that in to cover their time. So in doing it at a loss, as it were, and your monies, that's been additional project money into the overall HBA. And we are using that to plan where we look for projects, which landowners we need to link with. So a little bit about what we've been actually doing. You can see there some of the hedgerow issues. We often see these, but I think more and more the hedges out in the landscape are getting like garden hedges. The farmers seem to be so keen now. They've got the kits. They can go out and cut them, so we'll go and cut them and keep them neat. It seems to be a bit of that mentality. I've got to keep it neat for my neighbours so they think I'm farming well. So again, I've got to get over that, as well as everything else. So that's some hedge laying done, and that again will restore that hedgerow. This is again, we've been doing phase 1 hedgerow survey with volunteers, so we've had 35, or a few more I think now, volunteers trained up and involved in going out across the patch. Doing hedgerow surveys, usually in 2s and 3s, but again looking for all these different elements of hedgerows, and then actually getting out and restoring some of them, planting them up, gapping up, so they're a continuation. We were just hearing yesterday, I think it's ECRU, I'll dig out the link and things for you, but and I'm sure the openers team will know it anyway, but there's another report on the data and how valuable the continuity of hedgerows actually is, and particularly when you add trees back into it. We all sort of know it instinctively, but there's some data behind that now, so that's really useful to be able to play. Some of the facts and figures of what we've achieved. So small scale, various people around the room have been involved on that. Ian's done back surveys for us, which is fantastic. We've done loads on the dormice monitoring and been fantastic. And that's surveyed 90 kilometres of hedgerows now. I think there's maybe a bit more to add on to that as well. And during that period, we've actually restored 6.2 kilometres. So still small scale, but it's building up gradually, and it is demonstrating to people that it can be done and that can make a difference. Some of the training we did also woodland coppice products. What do you do? We all talk about managing woodlands, producing coppice goods. This is some of it, so people can actually go away and either do it in their own gardens, come back, coppice, take stuff away so they can use it. So the woodland becomes more valuable in other ways rather than us just wanting it to retain it for biodiversity. And we had a big open day in 2015, had a demonstration of horse extracting some woodland. There's small scale stuff, but it was a useful way of showing people what was there. And we're continuing now, we've still got a little bit of money to use at the moment. We're finishing off our development phase for the HLF bid for Prince Hawk Woodlands. It will be going in August, and we hope it's successful. We'll know in November or early December. If we get that, then we've got hopefully $1 million odd to spend over 4 years actually doing more of what we've been talking about across that patch and really targeting where we go. Again, loads of partners, and thanks to all those who are here, and we're actively engaged in that, from good strength in local authorities, but also local groups, and one or two companies that are in the wider partnership. So it's developing really well there. We've added into the project, which we haven't done before, is looking at the veteran trees, and Stephen and Falk's been having a quick look through for us and see what we've got. One or two fabulous ones, as we know, Watch has got a good number dotted through, and there's a reasonable number in this patch. So we're looking to include both keeping an eye on them, monitoring them, but also some seed collection from them, so hopefully we can retain that genotype and pass it on for the future and getting back into the hedgerows. Because some of them are beginning, they'll last a bit longer, but there's always that threat, isn't there, that they might disappear. Again, how we use the data, that's the local wildlife site mapping that HBA did for us. Again, looking at where we've got them. The orange is the potential sites, so which ones we want to try and get surveyed during the delivery phase to see what else we can do. So again, it's helping to contribute to that wider picture. And then undertaking the connectivity mapping, which HBO and County Council developed with York University using their modelling. This is the picture for Prince Hawk Woodlands. So the darker it is, the better connected it is. So some of the woodlands are reasonable, but obviously some very pale bits. So the paler it is, the less well connected and permeable that area is for species to move through. So we're looking for linking some of these up. Some you can do through the hedgerows. When you look at it, there are swathes through, so we're trying to get at least two tracks through of woodland come dense hedgerow, so that some southwest and northeast link through that patch. What else are we doing? We're doing catchment partnership work, which has come up over the last two to 3 years, really. Tame Bank and Meads up in the north, which includes a bit of the Tame, but also goes through Birmingham and the Meads from the Derbyshire area. Working with the Severn Trent Water hosting that, but working with the other Wildlife Trust and Trent Rivers Trust there, and of course the Environment Agency. And in Warwickshire Avon, we're co-hosting that with Severn Rivers Trust and helping to do more on that with getting a catchment plan together. And 3 catchment restoration projects have been actually delivered. I'm not going to those, but there's things happening on the ground to restore sections of river and get fish refuges in. Ecosystem service evaluation, we've talked briefly on this. We have got quite a detailed report from Oliver Holtzinger, which some of you will have heard someone from the Local Nature Partnership Implementation Group. We have one discussion on that. We are hoping to add the wetlands into it, which is a gap at the moment, so it's not a complete view of the value of the natural environment across the patch. If we can do that, then we'll be able to do an overall report and use that in a much wider sense and actually use that data. Take it to hopefully to the LEP and get them to see, actually, this is the asset you're sitting on. Hopefully it'll be useful for local authorities as well to have that message to sort of say, you may think we're spending out on these parks or whatever, but this is what's actually the resource and assets that's there for us. Natural England are focusing on the Upper Blythe catchment and looking at a natural capital and ecosystem services there. So we've just started on that, and I might still step on this, you might say something on that, but that work's still in hand, just started really. So to round up, we've been using that HBA data. Without that, seriously, we wouldn't be able to identify half these areas, half the lovely landscape areas. We wouldn't be able to know where to target some of those. We wouldn't know which are larger sites are the really valuable ones and which ones are less. So from point of view of targeting and being able to show other people, landowners, local authorities, get partners on board, it's really visual, a map like that. It really engenders and gets them on board. It's amazing, you put it up at a consultation event, and it goes, oh, I live there, and well, that's next to me. It's just something magical about maps, isn't it? But when you've got that sort of quality of data in it, it really highlights to people what we've got and what we also are doing. So yeah, demonstrating the value of ecosystems, we've mentioned that. Showing to parishes, the neighbourhood plans, Chris has been doing loads on those, as you said. We like to feed info out to them as well. And inform responses for planning and development, so people know why you're saying, oh, you know, we need to move it from here, because this is a key site. Strategic use, the local nature partnership's been going 3 years now, slow and steady. We've got minimal resource like everybody. But we have been identifying priorities and visions for that, and that, again, the data's helped for that, and the state of the environment in Warwickshire, that report that Chris did 2 years ago now, informed them a lot on that. So that was really useful. We've got to the point where we've got agreement on locally designated nature improvement areas, which is within the National Planning Framework. So we've got a process agreed, and we're just trying that out. We can send the Tame Valley Wetlands one round for consultation on that. So hopefully we can get that one approved before long. If we're invited, I think we're going to be invited to input to the different plan somewhere along the line, if it happens. But again, that data that we've got, we can comment really meaningfully on that and say what's required. And within the trust itself, we're looking at reviewing our strategic plan, so again, knowing where we're going to go next for the landscapes, all that data will be really useful for that. Thank you very much. I've just given you just a view of how we're applying some of that data and using it actually out there to change things. Yeah, David, thank you. Yeah.
Gina, it's not a question, it's just a thank you. I live in the Tame Valley Wetland Project area, and I'm also a local councillor with responsibility for planning and development across the whole of North Warwickshire. It's been a really interesting morning this morning to listen to the challenges and the journey that this group has been on. And I think when I look at the Tame Valley Wetland Project, and I look at the expertise that comes into that team, and I look at the partnership working that you are doing for the area, it's so fundamentally important to the strategic future of the ecosystems as they exist in the north of the county, without any doubt. And I just think I put formally, thank you very much indeed for the strategic vision of Warwickshire Wildlife Trust, and thank you very much indeed for the commitment of the officers that work on the project.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job. Thank you very much, David. It's always good to hear. I didn't try with that one, but yeah, thank you. It's good to know. Great.